Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? All right, especially my NBA coaches, Monty Williams in particular. He's doing a really good job this year. My Olympic committee members, they've made sports very interesting these last couple of weeks. So that being said, my name is Kenneth Clark. I'm your host. I want to introduce you guys to the Breakroom Breakdown Sports podcast, where we create sports content for all fans, right, including the casuals, right? You know, people that really don't watch sports like that, right? We create content for everybody. So today is going to be exciting. We'll jump back into our fast break frenzy to talk some NBA finals. Yeah, I apologize, you guys. I thought it was going to be a sweep and hopefully it'd be over by the time I recorded this episode, but the Bucks just tied it up 2-2. So yeah, more to come on that. But after that, we actually have an interview with Nevada-based lacrosse player and coach James Welfare. I don't know about you guys. I've always been interested. I always wanted to learn lacrosse. So I'm excited. I think that's going to be a very fun breakdown, right? But first, our Olympic update. So last episode, we talked about Sha'Carri Richardson, track phenom. I guess I kind of put my foot in my mouth, so to speak. I was giving her high praise. You know, I was speaking highly of her. And by now we know she failed her drug test. She got slapped with a 30-day ban from the Tokyo Olympics. It was marijuana. It wasn't a performance enhancer. But yeah, she did get suspended. It's a very unfortunate situation. We all wanted to see her go and break records. But I think we have to use this as a learning lesson for our young athletes. You simply can't afford to make mistakes like that on a stage this big. I mean, Sha'Carri is easily probably the premier runner for the U.S. track team, male and female included, right? She's the biggest face. This isn't the NBA, it isn't the NFL, it's the Olympics, right? This is a worldwide event, right? So the margin for error is just, it's that much smaller. So we initially thought that she was going to miss the 100-meter dash. I know that was the thought. Everybody's like, oh, she's still going to compete, you know, after she got suspended. But recent reports have came out. She's going to miss she got left off the 4x1 relay team as well. So that caused some frustration. People felt like she was being singled out, you know, due to her cultural, ethnic background. And I get it, guys, right? We've seen it happen in professional sports. It happens all the time. But I don't believe this is one of those cases. And I want you guys to think this way. I want you to put yourself in the position. Let's say you guys coach the U.S. track team, right? This happens. Let me ask you this. Are you going to let Sha'Carri run that 4x1 over somebody else? Granted, she's more talented than probably, but somebody that's worked every bit as hard of her as she has, and somebody has followed the rules. Would you do that? Another thing to consider. This is a lot of media attention, right? It's a lot that comes with this. So once again, you're the coach. Imagine having to prepare your team to compete. You got to prepare these people to run against some of the best athletes in the world, and you still have to monitor that situation over there. And trust me, it's going to take monitoring. Everybody, all media across the world, they're going to want a piece of her. So just think about that, right? Her name was big, was already big beforehand, and this situation just like 10x'd. I don't know if that's a word. I just kind of made that up. It 10x'd her buzz, the buzz around her. And a quick segue for all fans, not just the casual fans. This is a dynamic that exists in all sports, right? This isn't just specific to Sha'Carri. It isn't exclusive to what she has going on. This happens in all sports. You heard me talk. I talked about Tim Tebow about 5 episodes ago. Tim Tebow, it took for his former head coach to get an NFL job just for him to get a camp tryout. That's how much publicity is around his name. And he has talent as an athlete, but it just took that much. And what we have to learn, what we have to realize is that coaches, managers, organizations, they tend to veer away from athletes that bring a lot of media attention, right? This is the way I picture it. I feel like they're sitting in like a huge boardroom, right, with a long table, and they have their hands folded, and they're like, okay, is the juice worth the squeeze? That's a Girl Next Door reference, by the way. It's one of my favorite movies. But is the juice worth the squeeze? So if we apply that to Sha'Carri's situation, are you going to deal with a freaking media circus just for somebody to run the 4x1? I wouldn't, and apparently they don't want to do it either, right? But there's good news. This is the good thing. She's going to be back. She'll be back in 2024. She's a generational talent. Trust me, if she wasn't, Nike would have dropped her, right? We know Nike would drop somebody in the New York Minute. So she'll come back. She'll be older. I think she's going to be stronger and faster as a runner. And when it's all said and done, I genuinely believe, this is just me, it's a prediction, it's a hot take. I think she really has what it takes to break Florence Joyner's record. That 10.49 100-meter dash, I think she can break that. So we just have to be patient and support her through this tough time. But that is our Olympic update. So now we're going to jump back into some fast break frenzy, take a quick dive. We just finished game 4. Once again, I just knew it was going to be a sweep. The Bucks just tied it up 2-2 with a win of 109-103. That was exciting. So you obviously, listeners, you guys are far ahead of me. So if you guys have time machines, please just jump back and update me. Let me know who won the game. But I would appreciate that. But the Suns thoroughly dominated games 1 and 2. And then the Bucks they flipped the script, so to speak. They flipped the script game 3, winning by 20 points. I think when the Suns won, they won by 10 or more. But the Bucks have kind of figured it out. They beat them 120-100 in game 3. And then once again, game 4, they just won by a total of 6 points. So it's shaping up to be an interesting series, right? It's a nice change of pace for the finals. You have these 2 small market teams, blue collar. Nobody expected them to be there. So for anybody that's watching, I probably know one guy that had the Suns in the finals. Everybody had the Lakers, the Clippers. All right. And you had maybe like a dark horse Mavericks. And then on the East, everybody had the 76ers or the Nets. So I don't want to hear, oh, I had the Bucks. No, I don't want to hear that. Right. No one had them coming there. So the only question from here is, who's going to come out on top? Last episode, I was talking with VJ Vernon. We had a really good conversation. And I said this about the Suns. I said that they probably have the best chemistry, or have had the best chemistry of any team in the playoffs. I think Kyle Kuzma said that he knew they were a championship team, or they had the opportunity or the chance to win a championship just because that bond was so strong. We've seen DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker. They've kind of taken the next step in their progression. You have journeyman role players like Jay Crowder and Cameron Payne. They've stepped up in big moments, right? And enough can't be said about this Monty Williams, this Monty Williams, Chris Paul combination. Like, even though Monty Williams was already doing some good things there, Chris Paul comes and they establish this culture of accountability, selflessness. They play hard. And they're family. That's what I love most about this Suns team. That's what makes them so fun. They're family. I really enjoyed that video of Monty Williams talking to DeAndre Ayton, just kind of speaking life into him. It was beautiful coaching. And I think that's why they're winning. It's not because they're just outrageously more talented than the competition. They just have really strong chemistry. And they're a perfect example that talent doesn't always equate to success. Now, if anybody wants to fight me on that, imagine if the Lakers or the Clippers had an iota, not even half, if they had an iota of this chemistry that this Suns team has. I think one of them would be playing right now. And I don't want to hear anything about injuries. Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, great players, superstars. But both of those teams have well enough talent to win without them, especially in the West. So, yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts. And here's the thing. I don't want to just dote on the Suns all day. This isn't the Phoenix Suns fan show, right? This is the Breakroom Breakdown. The Bucks, you have to respect them, especially after tonight. They tied it up 2-2. They're resilient. If they're not anything, they're resilient. every time they're on the brink of elimination, they find ways to win games and they advance. They did it against the Nets in Game 7. They did it against the Hawks in Game 6. Against the net, people still hung up on, KD he had that fadeaway jumper. It looked like a three. I was watching, I'm like, that's a 3-pointer, but his foot is really long. So people are like, if his foot is 3 inches smaller, then the Nets win. And obviously, James is there. I don't know if we know the term. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk, right? I don't like to operate in hypotheticals. I want to live in real life. So the Bucks have figured it out. Then in game, in the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 4, Giannis hyperextends his knee, and then we think he's out for the year. Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, they hold down the fort, beat the Hawks. And then Giannis comes back like a week later. How, I do not know. I just knew it was an ACL tear. But he comes back and he drops 20 points and 17 rebounds. Then has the audacity to have 40 plus points in Game 2 and 3. And I think he had 26 tonight, right? So they're doing some really good things. These are two very, very strong teams. We don't know who's going to take it. I think it's very evenly matched. Once again, people with time machines, hey, just come back and let the kid know. I don't know what's going to happen. I had a buddy sum it up. He summed it up perfectly. He said, the Suns have the higher floor and the Bucks have the higher ceiling. And I couldn't agree anymore. So I'm just going to sit back from here. I'm going to drink my brew, drink my beer, and watch somebody. Somebody's going to end their their championship drought. Somebody's going to end it. So we'll wait and we'll see what happens with that. But that's it for Fast Break Frenzy. I want to keep it really quick. I told you guys we were going to discuss a different sport. We have James Welfare in the waiting room. He's going to teach us some lacrosse. Let's get him in here. So what's going on? How you doing? How's everything?
Pretty good, man. Going well. Just got done with this weekend with the Legends Meltdown tournament out in Southern California. Felt great to get out of Las Vegas, 120-degree heat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. So just jumping into it, I want to get the fans what they pay for.
Right.
So we got you here. So James, you coach high school lacrosse, as you told me, and you run a travel club.
Yes, sir.
I think me and you can both be honest and say that lacrosse is not a sport that's heavily advertised in the Black community, right? Absolutely not. So tell us how you developed a love for the sport. How did that come about?
Man, 2011, my senior year at Cheyenne High School, man, I have to say it completely saved my life. I was going nowhere fast. I played a little bit of football, a little bit of basketball throughout my life, a little bit of soccer as well. Lacrosse is just like a whole different realm, man. It was just like a bunched up sport with hockey, soccer, a little bit of basketball, physicalness of football. And I felt at home, man. I just felt really at home. I just had to learn how to, control my stick, keep the ball in there and do things in a little bit of different way. But once I picked it up, man, I couldn't put it down. It was like an addiction almost.
So how long would you say it took you to learn it, to really get acclimated?
I want to say it took me to get acclimated 2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months. Like, it really, I got into right before the preseason. The coaches over here at Centennial Bulldogs are like, hey, man, you're a football player, so just practice what you do as a linebacker and a running back, run through people, and, with your stick, if the ball's in your stick, just shoot it as hard as possible.
They kept it very, very simple, right?
Very simple, very simplistic.
and I find like that happens sometimes. Like, natural people that are just naturally gifted, they cross over into different sports, and it's just like nothing to them.
Yeah.
Right. I actually had a sister. She never play soccer. She was a basketball player. She goes out for the high school soccer team, and like in 2 months, she's like dribbling the ball and doing all these tricks. And I'm like, dude, these girls been playing their whole life.
turns into a passion, man. You know, I think when you get into a sport that you realize you're not good at, the competitive people, the people that have a competitive edge inside of them, they just get into that mode like, man, I shouldn't suck at anything. Like I don't accept being, the bottom of the depth chart. I want to get up there. So that kind of played a big, huge part into it.
Most definitely, most definitely. So how about this? Okay, so first of all, parents, pay attention. You have another option for your kids, right? It's not just football and basketball, right?
Yes.
So James, break down the basics of lacrosse. I mean, I know about the stick with the net. That's all I know.
Right.
Break down the basics. How is the game played?
All right. So there's 10 players allowed on the field. There's 3 attackmen who are on the offensive side of the ball, 3 midfielders that play in between, similar to soccer and hockey, and 3 defenders, 1 goalie. So that'll equal your 10 players on the field. For each goal in the boys lacrosse in high school and below, actually in college and below, scoring is 1 point. Every time you score, it's 1 point. In the professional league, the PLL, the Premier Lacrosse League, they have a 2-pointer similar to the 3-pointer line over in basketball.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's about 15 yards out from the cage. Yeah, you gotta throw bombs, man. You gotta throw bombs if you're gonna shoot from out there. There's a maximum of 4 long poles. So the defenders, they play with a 6-foot pole compared to a short pole, which is 48 inches, whatnot. The lacrosse ball can't be touched with your hands, has to be with your stick. So you got to scoop through, catch it, everything. You can't use your hands. You got to avoid offside penalties. So like your attackmen and defenders, you can't go over the midfield line unless, then you get into the intricacies of coaching and whatnot. Opposing players can make contact with the goalie or the goalie stick when the goalie's in the cannot make contact with them when they're in it's called a crease. So
is it like that? Is that little sector in front of the?
Yeah. So there's the net. So there's the goal, and then around the goal there's a circle, which we call the crease. You can't get into that crease. You can't step on that crease if you're an offensive player, or else it's an automatic turnover. It's a little bit different when you take a shot. Let's say you take a shot, you miss the cage, it goes out of bounds behind the cage. It's the person closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds. So we usually have a guy, we call that position X behind cage. If that person's back there, just to make sure that we can retain possession of the ball. But usually you'll have some runouts with a defender or a goalie sprints out when no offensive players back there just to get possession. Body checking, which is what I always preach with my guys. Like we don't swing stick. We go straight body. We try to
body check.
Go night. Oh yeah.
Oh, so is that like the equivalent of like blindside and all that stuff?
Playing linebacker, baby, going straight down that A gap, running straight into that running back, knock them on out.
So just to make sure I'm clear.
Yeah.
When the opposing team is running, they got the ball in their thing. You can hit them.
Oh, man.
Dislodge the ball and all that stuff like that.
Absolutely. We throw stick checks. So like we hit people with sticks. We wear arm pads. We wear gloves. We wear helmets and chest pads, depending on the level that you play at. I'm past my high school and college days, so I'm not usually playing with a chest protector, which could be a bad omen. But when you can get hit in the arms with a lacrosse stick trying to dislodge the ball. We call a yard sale when a guy checks you with his stick and throws your stick out of your hand. That happens occasionally.
Wait. Check you with his stick and throw your stick out of your hand.
Yep. So like when you're running, they say I have a stick in my hand and the guy comes up and he dislodges the stick out of your hand. That's called a yard sale. Try to get that turnover.
Hey, look, James, parents is watching this. They be like, I don't know if I want my kids to play lacrosse. Hey, look, this is a violent sport. No, but I'm gonna tell you this. It sounds absolutely great. So let's look at positions. Okay. Yep. Just so we can equate it to, once again, let's say people that watch basketball or watch football. Okay, who would you say is the quarterback of on the field? Who orchestrates, or a point guard? Who is that? Who
Okay.
is that person?
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So let me see. If we're going to equate it to basketball, I mean, it really depends on teams' their strategy. So me, I have a kid that I like having at X that's behind the cage.
Hmm.
That's usually your quarterback. That's usually an attackman who is
Hmm.
playing down there and is really trying to, work your offense and
Hmm.
get everybody in the right spot. So that would be your point guard. Uh, this is purely based off just my team.
Hmm.
Just was at the tournament. We have a kid, Jake, who
Hmm.
plays on the right wing attackman. He was 6'4". He's 6'5" actually.
Oh.
He plays basketball,
Hmm.
and we utilize him. We use post up, like we were telling him, play power forward here, man. Come up, back guys down towards the pipe,
Hmm.
and then have your head up so you can pass the ball if guys are cutting through lanes, just like in basketball. Or if you can free your hands up, get a shot on cage.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that where you usually put your more physical players at attackmen, or
Oh yeah,
how?
for sure.
Okay. And do
Yep.
you guys utilize? I did. So I have, once again, I was talking about my sister in soccer. So I have a little bit of a soccer experience. I was the trainer for the girls team.
Gotcha.
So what is do you guys utilize a sweeper? Is
A
that, do
sweeper.
they like, do they have, like, I know they used to have a sweeper. They have a sweeper in soccer. Like, do you guys have a position like that? That's kind of like a defensive base position.
Yeah, so we'll have defense. So we'll have our long poles, or we'll have a long stick midfielder, who is somebody who plays the midfield position that can go on both ways of the field with their long pole. Yeah.
So based off of position and assignment, that dictates how long their stick is.
Yeah, most
Okay.
definitely. So like just I mean, it's usually preference when it comes with players. So like
Hmm.
I'll never just tell kids you're just only going to be an attackman. You're only going to be a midfielder. If you can run, if you have great conditioning, just like midfield in soccer, if you can run and play defense and play offense, and you're on my midfield. If you're more strongly an offensive player that can shoot hard, likes to be physical, likes to dodge, you'll be on my attack. If you're somebody that is just pure physical, have good feet, can play angles, then I got you playing defense. And then if you just have a bolt missing in your head, and you're okay with stepping in cage, then so be it.
Oh wow. Okay. So you mentioned like how you strategies.
Right.
Is it strategy or scheme? Just to give us an example, what type of scheme do you run as a coach?
Me, purely based off my players. So I
Hmm.
like to see the guys that I have on my team, see what they're good at. Like this last team that I have right now, we're running more pick and rolls, just like in basketball. The guys
Oh,
are
okay.
more into running the 2-man game. My old team for spring, my Centennial Bulldogs, we run more of a triangle offense based off the LA Lakers and Phil Jackson. And so, yeah,
Really?
it just really depends. Like if I got guys that I feel know the game, can handle the ball and handle situations that are thrown at them, then we'll usually just have a free offense that just runs through the 2-man game, picks off ball movement. And then if I have a team that we lack experience, guys can, they're not as experienced as the other teams, then we get right into that triangle offense where, we're running into a cycled offense from the midfield, cycled offense from the attack, and let them utilize the patterns.
So a triangle offense
Yeah,
in lacrosse. So
yeah,
so it's fair to say lacrosse, it's almost like it's like a mixture of so many different sports.
absolutely.
Wow.
I'm a huge advocate on if you are a football player, basketball player, soccer player. I love my multi-sport athletes. Multi-sport athletes are going to have the best advantage in any sport that they play,
That's the
because the
truth.
fact that they get so much experience in different sports that they can utilize it. We've struggled with trying to get that out here in Las Vegas
Mhm.
because a lot of the sports scenes are very bullish on, hey, You want
Keep
we
our
want guys
guys.
to specialize, yeah, and that could be detrimental with injuries, and it just closed-mindedness on it could help them. Like I know, I coached Canyon Springs. We had a program up there in 2018 is actually when we started North Pride Lacrosse Club, my lacrosse club over there. We had some guys that were football players, soccer players, baseball players. Our football players, we had a couple wide receivers that we ran through the midfield because it's just playing midfield offensively, just like a point guard or just playing basketball, period, not just a point guard. But you dodge against somebody, just like when you're crossing somebody up or you're at the line as a wide receiver against a DB, you're getting off that line, right?
Oh, wow.
Throw a little bit of moves up in there. I always have a rule. You have your initial dodge, your secondary dodge, and then your finishing dodge, just to, make sure you keep it fresh against the defender. But man, when I get these multi-sport athletes that are basketball players, football players, you just see like once they get the stick handling under control, and then they use their abilities that they got from the other sports, they are amazing on the field, man. Amazing.
And even if we could look at basketball, football, multi-sport athletes are the best. Like right now, the Travis Kelce's arguably the best tight end in the league. He's a basketball. He could play basketball. He could do everything, right? So no, that definitely makes sense. So one more question before we move on. Can you hit? I know you throw it with the net. Can you like hit the ball like a baseball? Like, do people do that? Like throw it up and hit it? Is that a thing?
They don't usually do that. That's more of our stick tricks that usually helps with stick handling. Okay. So when some people, they don't have a wall nearby or a partner to pass with on their own time, then we have them practice stick drills. So like they'll do stick tricks. They can stall it on their sticks or whatnot, and then a couple guys use their bat to hit it, but not in the game. I see one of my players do that in the game. You're getting ripped off the field. You're gonna be standing right next to coach drinking some water.
That's the flashiness.
Yeah, that's the flash.
Okay, so let's say we wanted to watch lacrosse on TV. Right. I need a new sport anyways, year round. When does it come on? Like, where do we find it? Explain it. What is their schedule like?
Okay. So there's different avenues that you can watch. I know for sure the PLL, so the Premier Lacrosse League, is this newer league that's it merged with what was the old Major League Lacrosse, which was the primary pro league, but now they merged together to create the PLL, which is the product. The product on the field, man, is just insane. These are the best of the best lacrosse players in the world playing together every weekend. So every weekend, I want to say so far, like this, just to talk about this season with the PLL, they started June 4th out in Boston, and then they'll end the championship game September 19th in Washington, D.C. But you can watch the PLL on NBC, NBCSN, and Peacock. If you go to the PremierLacrosseLeague.com, you'll go ahead and you'll find all the information and links that you can to buy tickets and or go and watch it on the respective accounts. The growth of the sport since the PLL's formation, man, has been amazing.
Oh, and I also have heard, I've read that lacrosse is one of the fastest growing sports in the world.
It is the fastest growing sport.
Oh,
in the world, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I got to plug my sport, man. I'm sorry. I got to plug my sport. We are the fastest sport on 2 feet and the fastest growing sport, man. I've been playing this game since 2011. I went into the Navy like along with you, my brother, and just the growth from there has just been to now. It has been immaculate. We're about to get our own indoor lacrosse league, which is a much more physical, much more geared to hockey. Man, I love it. I love it. We're getting our own pro team out here. The PLL, like I said, is the outdoor, so that's on a 110 to 120 yard field, and yeah, man, it's some good lacrosse going on. You can catch the indoor lacrosse. You could catch that on Bleacher Report, actually. So during
Really?
their season, Bleacher Report will live stream every single game. And then when it comes to college, which is probably has the biggest following out of all of them, rivaled with the PLL, you can watch that like ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3. I'm pretty sure if you could catch it on ESPN Ocho.
ESPN Ocho. So give me a few good teams in the PLL, just so I know. Like
we gotta go with my squad then. Roll Woods,
okay.
baby, the PLL Redwoods. So with the PLL right now, they are not city based. They're club based, so they're not attached to a city. So there's the PLL Redwoods. There's the Water Dogs, the Cannons, the Whip Snakes are the best team for right now. You know what I'm saying?
Are they like the Kansas City Chiefs?
Nah, I would say they're more like the Patriots.
Oh wow. Okay, so they're okay. Oh, they're dynasty.
So for the 2 seasons that they've been around, that the PLL has been in session, they've won back to back.
Oh Jesus. So the PLL when officially was the PLL established?
I believe that was 2 years ago. So the 2018, 2019 season.
Oh wow. Okay. See, hey, look. First of all, really quick, fans. I hope you guys are paying. I'm really taking notes here. Like,
hey, absolutely got to, man.
I'm learning. Yeah.
I'm saying I've talked to a couple of NFL players. I've talked to. He used to be on my New York Jets. We're not gonna get too into that because I'm a little depressed being a Jets fan. But he went off to get traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All of his sons play lacrosse. They play out in Atlanta, and he's very into the game. I know Bill Belichick he used to play up in college and play. He watches and is a huge investor now with the PLL. I know really? Chris Hogan, who used to be the Patriots wide receiver.
He played in college?
Wide receiver. Yep, he played at Penn State. He was a great midfielder. Who else? Jim Brown, man, is the greatest lacrosse player ever. Syracuse.
And you guys know something. He was the first person to tell me that because I never really watched lacrosse before, never really thought about it. But he told me that one day we were actually stationed in Japan. This was years ago.
Yeah.
And he told me that Jim Brown was the greatest lacrosse player of all time. So who would have known?
Yeah, man.
Right. So you mentioned your travel club earlier. Tell us about your travel club.
A little plug here. North Pride Lacrosse Club.
Pride.
Yes, sir. North Pride Lacrosse Club. So in 2018, well, I really got to go back further than that. I came up in the Vegas Stars Lacrosse Club program. With the dream, when I got into the military, I had a dream that one day that I'll come out and start my own club, do it the right way, not just doing it just for the wins and money that a lot of, travel sports period has become in the youth programs. In my state, sadly to announce, we have probably one of the worst school districts for success for kids and the street life and whatnot. So I know a lot of kids in my area in North Las Vegas, they needed a mentor, somebody that isn't afraid to tell them how it is and really bring them and utilize sports as a vehicle to stay out of the monotonous cycle of Las Vegas. Just graduating just to work in the casino or just work period in the workforce, give them an opportunity to see that, hey, you can go into college and be successful, get you a college degree, and play this wonderful game that helps guide you and set you up for the future. And so when we started, we got a whole bunch of kids that were at Canyon Springs that really wanted to play in the summers. So we do summer, fall, and winter. We leave the spring for, just for local teams to play, so that are not really attached to schools because it's not really sanctioned yet. We're working on that, but really get kids playing, man. This sport, it has so much to offer. And I understand that it comes with that cliche of being, a rich white kid sport, which is not true. It's not
No,
true
no,
at all.
that's the stigma. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
stigma.
Yeah. So many times where I've talked to, kids in my community, our black kids and Hispanic kids, where I've been like, hey, come out, play it, just try it out. And they're like, oh, that's a rich white kid sport. But really, the lacrosse is the oldest sport on this land. It
Is
was
it
started
really?
by, yeah. So it was started by the Iroquois. I
Yeah,
like to call it the Six Nations. They've been playing since the beginning, before
Mm,
they came over here and took their land and whatnot. They
okay.
use it to settle disputes, to honor the creators, their ancestors and stuff like that. We had the French came down and adopted the sport, and that's when it went from Tewaaraton to lacrosse, and that's when it was just modified into the game that we have now.
So they was like war games almost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Wow. Okay, man, this still is giving me a full history lesson here.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So your travel club I'm assuming it's just for younger kids, or do you have some young adults there as well?
Okay, so with my club right now, we're going strong with the high school kids. This fall and winter, once school starts August 9th, we'll be getting into the middle schools and elementary schools.
Mhm.
And then actually this weekend, we have the North Pride men's team. So it'll be a couple of my friends that played with me and with the Bulldogs in high school, and then a couple of kids that played for me in North Pride. We're going to have our North Pride men's team go out to Lake Tahoe and get a little games in.
So do they have like does lacrosse have like a tournament system where they'll have like a big tournament and you just go there all day and just play?
Huge, man, huge.
Huge.
Oh yeah, it's very huge. There's like uh wow, just had a blank. There's companies like Adrenaline, Legends,
Mhm.
NXT, Hogan Lacrosse, and stuff like that. That whole and 3D Lacrosse that
Mhm.
hold these huge lacrosse tournaments,
Mhm.
and teams from all across the country come to.
Mhm.
I know with ours, we go to a lot of Western regional lacrosse
Mhm.
tournaments. Like in the next couple of weeks, we'll be going to the Tribes Lacrosse Showcase. We just went to the the Legends Meltdown. Like
Mhm.
there's a ton. There's
Oh,
a
really?
ton.
And how did that one go for you guys? The Legends Meltdown.
Man, the Lacrosse Legends Meltdown, man,
Uh-huh.
was amazing. It
Uh-huh.
was a great turnout. A lot of we got out there. The expectations for our team, we had a pretty small team. We had about 16 players. We were going out there. We had played the most games of any team. We played 4. Usually, you were supposed to play 3 games on Saturday, and then you have playoffs on Sunday.
Mhm.
So we played our 4 games. We did a split between all 4. So we lost to Seattle Stars, which is a
Really
top
good team.
level, premier level lacrosse team, lacrosse program. They produce so much college talent that we played. We lost to them 12-2, so it was a rough start to our morning.
Mhm.
Then we ended up playing Pride LC, which is a team out in SoCal. We ended up beating them, and then we ended up beating another team called Live Lax, and then we ended up losing a good game to Los Angeles Lacrosse Club to place 3rd in the seeding for
Mhm.
playoffs. So we got to playoffs to play the LALC, Los Angeles Lacrosse Club,
Mhm.
played them for a second time, beat them in overtime with a game-winning goal, which was definitely the highlight of the tournament.
Who
And then
look
we
who
got
made
to
who made the game when it go? Was it Jake?
I got to put my boy out there, Peyton Shin, man, Peyton Shin,
Oh,
number
Peyton
88.
Shin.
Yeah, we were screaming yellow, yellow to slow down the ball because
Uh-huh.
we had turned the ball over. Then we forced a turnover to get the ball back into our possession in overtime, and we wanted to draw something up. But as we were screaming yellow, I recognized, and he recognized as well, that his hands were free in the middle of the field. And I just looked up. My assistant was screaming yellow, yellow. And I said, nah, man, shoot, scream, shoot, bounce
Yeah.
shot, perfect form. game winner, and I promise you, I'll send you the video.
Please.
But I was the first dude out on the field, man. Beat the kids to the punch. I was screaming like we done won a Super Bowl. Yeah, because I was super proud moment. So we ended up getting into the title game and versus Seattle Stars, and we put up a fight, but to no avail. But those kids, man, my kids put up. We didn't expect them, to be honest. We didn't expect them to get to the title game. We were like, hey, just come out here. We want to see how you guys are doing against this top level talent out here on the field. And man, they balled out for us.
Wow. So that's big. So just so I'm clear, when you go to some of these tournaments, is it just teams from the West Coast, or are you getting teams from all over the United States?
Oh, no, most definitely. We've seen teams come from Canada. We've seen teams come from Maryland, Boston, and stuff like that. Arizona, Texas, all over, man. They all come down. All come to Minnesota. Everybody comes down to whatever tournament that's happening. That you usually get a great mix of that, especially in the national tournaments. But you can get that in the regional tournaments as well. So it's great.
Okay. So he said he's gonna start the men's. How old is too old to learn? I can relocate. You're never too old.
Never too old, man.
I got a small football. As a matter of fact, what's funny? Even though we were in the Navy, we actually met. We were playing flag football. Yeah. And I was actually being very obnoxious. I was very mad. His team had beat ours.
2-time defending champs, baby. Don't forget it.
I don't want to hear all that.
QB1, let's go.
And so I was just being very obnoxious. I'd never forget. Your wife picked me up, and I was in the car. I was cursing. I was bad. So I'm pretty competitive too. So maybe I can cross over to cross.
Nah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah. I saw you out there. You had the footwork for us. So let's go.
Yeah, I had a little something going, right?
Yes, sir.
But okay. So if the fans want to reach you, James, how can they reach you? How can they get a hold of James Welfare?
So if you want to get a hold of me, go on to Instagram, Coach James 702, or you can go on Instagram, North Prod Lacrosse. I'm usually active up on there. Or you can go on Instagram, James Welfare. I'll be the guy right there with my son in the picture. But something I definitely want to mention with my lacrosse club, man, that I'm pretty proud of is with the PLL starting this fall and winter. We are going to be the first lacrosse club out here in Las Vegas, Nevada to be PLL sponsored.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's good. That's really good. Congratulations.
It's going to bring access to professional lacrosse players to the kids in our program, whether they're new, old, veterans, whatever. Get them in front of guys like a couple pros that I've met, like Kyle Harrison, who's in my opinion, the Michael Jordan in lacrosse for the Black community. He's done it the right way. He's won at every level that he's played at, but that connection with the pro sports is huge. And then as well as the NLL having their team come out here and interact with us in our Las Vegas lacrosse community.
Well, that's definitely big. PLL sponsored. That's good.
Yes, sir.
I'm proud of you. You built your own brand and your own club. That's good.
Yes, sir.
Last question. I give my fans homework. They know they hate me, but I give them homework every episode. Your favorite lacrosse player and why?
Ooh, favorite lacrosse player? That's actually an easy one. I just mentioned him. Kyle Harrison, man. Kyle Harrison, this is his last year professionally. He's retiring. But this man, that's what really, really cemented that I wanted to play this sport. Seeing somebody just like me. I mean, there's a ton of other ones. There's Chaz Woodson, who's just crazy nuts. There's Johnny Christmas, who's slick. I call him the samurai because just the way that he played the game is just so elegant, just like a samurai is. But Kyle Harrison is definitely number one in my eyes because he brought the basketball aspect to the field. He was the first African-American player to win the Tewaaraton Award, which is the Heisman in college for us.
Okay.
And then went out and he's our team captain over with the PLL Redwoods, which is probably one of the hugest fans of. So
so Kyle Harrison. So hey, you guys got homework.
That's right.
Study. Johnny Christmas. I wrote that down too. So
yes. Oh man, he does so much. He was actually out in Tokyo there's a place called Laxkong. And I remember they did a big event when he came down there to Tokyo, and the Japanese lacrosse community.
So they have a lacrosse. They have a lacrosse scene in Japan.
Oh my goodness, man! Yes, huge.
Oh, wow.
They've grown exponentially. So yeah,
Jesus Christ. You guys hear me say, I'm saying, oh, wow, because I'm like learning new things. Like I really didn't know this much about lacrosse. But no, that's really good. Honestly, James, I want to thank you. I know you're busy, between coaching and the club. Just willing to take some time to break this down for us.
Yes, sir.
We'll definitely have to have you back on. I'm actually
Absolutely.
interested in the break room breakdown becoming more of an avenue for lacrosse. So I definitely want to talk about it a little
amazing.
more. No, I would love it. I'd definitely be honored. But give me your team schedule, please.
Absolutely.
I'm just just over here in beautiful San Diego, so it's nothing to a boss for me to drive down to.
Got you. We'll be going to a tournament out there this following winter, man.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
yes,
cool.
Sir. It's called the Sandstorm. So I'll send that information straight to you and get you out there so you can have actual, look at it, man.
Well, look, we'll say less. I've recorded. Maybe we can do a live episode, right?
Let's do it.
Well, most definitely. So, yeah. But outside of that, once again, I don't want wifey to kill me. Have a blessed night. Get some, get you some rest, and we'll talk soon.
Will do. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, brother.
All right, be easy.
All right. Have a good one. Whew. Well, that was a good interview. I actually enjoyed that. That was James Welfare from Nevada. He just gave us the basics of lacrosse. I once again, I just added another sport to my tool belt, so I'm excited. I'm gonna randomly butt into a conversation, a lacrosse conversation, and act like I know what I'm talking about. But I feel like I do a little bit more now, right? I might just head over to Big Five tomorrow and grab some gear and join the local league. But we also talked about Sha'Carri Richardson, her suspension. We gave a quick analysis of the NBA Finals. Obviously, it's still ongoing for me. Once again, people with time machines, look out for the kid. Just give me an update, so I'm not behind, time and stuff like that. But as always, people, if you guys had fun, please subscribe. All right, we're on all major platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify. And if you guys want to live chat with the Rooted in Sports clan, just check us out on Clubhouse. But more platforms coming soon, because I know Facebook and Spotify are doing some things as well. And I also encourage you guys to share this with your friends that don't watch sports, your casual fans, right? Because we want them to join us, join the community. And until then, hey guys, welcome aboard. And I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, that's a little creepy. But I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.